Welcome to
Only Murders in the Building,
the official podcast.
Join me, Michael Cyril Creighton, as we go behind the scenes with some of the amazing actors, writers, and crew from season 5.
The audience should never stop suspecting anything.
How can you not be funny crawling around on a coffin?
No, that's true.
Catch Only Murders in the Building official podcast, now streaming wherever you get your podcasts. And watch Only Murders in the Building, streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney Plus for bundle subscribers. Terms apply.
Mint is still $15 a month for premium wireless. And if you haven't made the switch yet, here are 15 reasons why you should. 1, it's $15 a month. 2, seriously, it's $15 a month. 3, no big contrast. 4, I use it. 5, my mom uses it. Are you playing me off? That's what's happening, right? Okay, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, $15 per month equivalent required. New customer offer first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
When I was about 6, there was someone that went missing. And even as a 6-year-old, I have no concept of murder or anything, but
of course,
I found myself trying to find dates in the newspaper because he used to build garages and he would, drive and go away for a few days. And
Right.
I was trying to find dates to match them to this because in my 6-year-old head, I believed that he took this woman.
welcome back to Connect with Jonathan Mark. Now, I want to get into this episode a little different. This one was kind of very intense. Not kind of, it actually was very intense. And I want to preface this before I get into explaining some of it, is that this guest is from Australia. It's 1 a.m. her time, but I want to explain to you guys how intense this was. When I do readings, and I do readings with like unsolved cases, missing persons, those readings are heavy. But when someone comes to me and it's not a missing person, it's not an unsolved case, but the person is a big criminal, but hasn't been caught, it's a very, very different, heavy feeling. I feel like there's a weight on my chest. There's a lot. And this guy that I was connecting to was a horrible person and did horrible things. And you are going to hear some of those horrible things that he did. Now, because of how sensitive some of the issues are, we are definitely not sharing it because it's going to law enforcement and it's just a very sensitive topic. So I just want you guys to know that before you start listening to the meat of the episode. So please sit back and just brace yourselves for this really intense reading. Well, this is definitely not a cold case or a missing person or anything. Your father's coming through, and I don't know if that's who you wanted to connect with.
Yep.
And there's a lot of things that I think the thing that why it's a tricky situation from what I can see is he's involved from my perspective of crime to some extent, or he knows about certain types of crimes. I don't think he's like a mastermind of sorts of things, but because what he's basically showing to me and what he's tapping his like chest about is getting things essentially off of his chest. And the only reason why I'm even bringing that up is because there seems to be speculation, whether it's you or other people within your family that think he was involved in whatever crime because he's putting bars in front of me. So whatever crime people are speculating that he was a part of, I'm not sure to what extent you are thinking the crime is or what your family is, or if even you think there is crime. But he is talking to me about, when I say suspicious behavior, it's not someone who is kind of like just acting weird in a corner. This is just like someone who, when I say put on a mask, it's someone who can act very different in front of family, but do so. It's kind of like not an alter ego, but it's something. It's not that. It's something similar to the fact of when someone, you do know, like he's involved in missing person cases, right?
That's what my question was. I've carried that all my life since I was a child, and it's the last couple of years it's been coming through a lot stronger that I have to do something about it, to the point where one of my sisters and I were going to go and do DNA with the police in case it came up with any missing people's records.
Because what he's showing to me is missing people. Like he takes, it's like he's showing to me like getting off of his chest, essentially, to some extent, whether he was involved in it, knew about it, or actually did it. I don't know to what extent it is. I'm not 100% certain about like how far it is, whether he knew someone who was doing it or whatever. But, and I'm not saying this is what it is. It's like taking children or taking people, taking younger people, and or whatever it is, because that's what he's just showing to me, is that like certain people in an area over years, a span of time have, but it's centrally located to where he is, where he goes, and things of his nature of like routine of stuff, of like where he'd go to work, where he would just like a routine base of things just go missing like periodically throughout. And it's not like your typical when you go to different states or countries or whatever and there's missing people. Like this is like too much aligned with where he was, his age, and just everything. Because it like, again, what he keeps tapping his chest about is there's a lot of getting things off of his chest. So with that being said, like, yeah, like I definitely highly encourage you and your sister then to maybe pursue DNA and stuff and pursue like anything, because I really, if he's like coming through saying that he has nothing to lose, he's not here. So he has really nothing to lose. But he's saying that this has been going on since, and I know you mentioned you had suspicions when you were younger, but this has been going on for quite some time. This isn't like a 10, 20 year thing. Like this is like a fairly long time of stuff. Like this isn't.
I believe it might even be from when he was about 16 onward.
Yeah, like this is a long time, because he's saying that, and again, he keeps showing to me. So I'm probably not going to say names because I hope you go to law enforcement or something after, so they can do stuff with this. What he's showing to me about this is that certain people act alone and certain people don't act alone when they do things like this. Like they typically can have someone who's involved or someone who knows about things, because what he's pointing to me as like there's another individual, not that was involved, kind of looks like they were, but they knew about it or he knew about it and the other person was involved. It's like a counterpart to him, kind of like a close friend or someone that's very close to him. What he's also saying too is actions is what he keeps repeating to me. So his actions later on in life, like kind of prove to be very, when I use the term suspect, really what I mean by that is, again, I use this term alter ego and I don't mean it like that. What I mean is that you can't, like, you can act like a family person, but then like the next hour, the next day, you act very different. Like that's what he keeps showing to me, is that he was because he keeps saying like he was able to fool people. Like that was his biggest thing was, and he was able to.
People loved him. He was a religious man, you know, he was like, all the youth thought he was the most wonderful person ever. And you know, we ended up getting interviewed by Interpol, you know, about our childhood. So definitely two-faced.
Well, he's just saying to me that there's certain people that can charm and manipulate. And like those are the people that you have to worry about. And that's what he's saying. And he's saying like the people you have to worry about are the ones that can, I mean, people use the term like gaslighting, obviously, but it's not, it's kind of like that, but it's kind of like he can make people buy water from an ocean, kind of. Like he's just that charming. Like he's really, I mean, that's how he's coming through. And what he's also coming through too is he's putting double digits in front of me, which means the missing people go into the double digits. This isn't like 6 people. This isn't like 5 people. This is double digit numbers. What he's also saying too, which is interesting, is that I guess law enforcement or whoever suspected him to be a person of interest. Like this doesn't seem completely, not random, but what he's also saying too is at the time where he was at, he keeps joking, saying he felt like he was like the mayor of the town, kind of like someone that could walk through the streets, walk through whatever, and everyone, and he's joking, like hand him their baby, to kiss the baby, like to hand, like, you know, think like he really felt like he ran an area. And with that being said, it's like a lot of friends were law enforcement. So things can get, if they even suspected him, because like this is the whole point, is what he's saying to me is like, if anyone suspected him of doing something horrible, it just wouldn't register with them because he doesn't come across like that. Like it wouldn't click with people. People would be like, there's no way he would act like that. There's no way he would do that. And he's saying, again, that was his biggest advantage, is that people like could not fathom the thought of like him doing something horrific and horrible. Now, what he's saying is, because he's pointing at you, as you've been suspect of him since you were, even before you were 16, because he's saying things were just weird. I don't know how to explain it. Like actions were weird, things were weird. And he's saying you kind of caught, now I wouldn't say caught on, but you picked up cues and you picked up, because he's saying this is before you were 16, like you mentioned. He's saying this was just like,
I was like 6.
Yeah, because he's saying that like, I
him.
think 16 was like icing on the cake a lot. Kind of like, you're like, all right, like this is it. Like I'm pretty certain. What he's also saying too is like certain people in your family, like ignorance is not bliss, but it was for them. They would rather ignore suspicious behavior than actually address suspicious behavior. And that's what he keeps saying. Because the only reason why he's showing that to me is because I work on a case where it's the Long Island serial killer. And like the wife of the guy said she didn't know. Whether that's true or not, who knows? But he's showing to me like it's a similar situation where ignorance was bliss within the family. It's like you rather just put your head down, know that there is suspicious behavior or know that there is stuff that's going on, but you rather not just like pay attention to it, and you rather just like move on from it. Because he's saying to me that it's, again, like the double digit side of things is crazy to me. And what he's saying to me is that also, again, like the charming aspect and all that is such a key part. Now, what he's also kind of referring back to me, and this is what I wanted to like bring up, is when someone puts a microscope on them, typically what that means is, aside from you and your family, there's other people at a certain point that were kind of, I don't want to say we're convinced, but we're leaning in the direction that he could be someone like that. Because he keeps showing to me, and I don't know if this is the right term to use, but it's not the fascination with like children or young people, but it definitely seems like he was very involved with the youth and very involved with like children. Because he's pointing, this isn't the first time you've spoken about this with someone, this appears to me, because that's what he's saying. Because he keeps tapping us saying this conversation isn't the first time it was like it's brought out or spoken about, really. And he's saying that it's going to give you closure, if that makes sense. Like
Absolutely.
It's going, like, I don't know if that makes sense, because he's saying it's going to give you some type of closure that you need in order to, I think, because he's saying it's, I don't know how to explain it to you. It's like the feeling of like disappointment, anger, and all that stuff, but you just want to know the truth from what I can see. And he's saying it's time for you to get the truth. And that's why he's encouraging you. And I'm also encouraging you to go to the law enforcement for the DNA stuff, because he seems like he was very protected for a pretty long time. So it just seems like he was very friendly with people. And it seems like people just wouldn't want to fathom the thought that he could do something like that, or just ignored it, like whatever
That's
it was.
Exactly right.
Because he's just saying like that was on his side. And I used the term like being the mayor of like jokingly, he truly felt like he could walk through where he was from and where you were from completely like, and he's joking, but could do anything and nothing would affect him.
He used to call himself Mr. Wonderful.
I could definitely see that. Like I could definitely see the fact that like he thrived off of the fact of like people's perception of him was the way that it was. Like he thrived off of that. Because at the same time, what that kind of shows to me, what he's showing to me is that when you care so much about public perception, and he keeps pointing at the house, it affects home life. And like that's just what he's just saying to me, because he's saying that the perception was not reality of how he was as like a father and things like that. Like people perceived him as being this amazing father, and he's keeps shaking his head. Aside from what he just kind of told, he's just saying personally he wasn't like this amazing father like all the time.
This episode is brought to you by Greenlight. Get this. Adults with financial literacy skills have 82% more wealth than those who don't. From swimming lessons to piano classes, us parents invest in so many things to enrich our kids' lives. But are we investing in their future financial success? With Greenlight, you can teach your kids financial literacy skills like earning, saving, and investing. And this investment costs less than that after-school treat. Start prioritizing their financial education and future today with a risk-free trial at greenlight.com/Spotify. Greenlight.com/Spotify.
I'm Ashley Graham, and as a parent, I know the back-to-school transition can be a lot. When it comes to wellness, Ollie supports me and my family through it all. Kids Multi is big in my house. It supports their immune system, and they love to take it. A win-win for everyone. Shop these products at ollie.com or retailers nationwide. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
CRM was supposed to improve customer relationships. Instead, it's shorthand for can't resolve much. Which means you may have sunk a fortune into software that just bounces customer issues around but never actually solves them. On the ServiceNow AI platform, CRM stands for something better. With AI built into one platform, customers aren't mired in endless loops of automated indifference. They get what they need, when they need it. Bad CRM was then. This is ServiceNow.
I'll tell you like some stuff off camera that now that I can see like it's kind of criminal what's going on. I don't want to put names out there. So, because he's showing me certain names about people that were missing. He keeps showing this to me. It's like if you look at a map, I know it's really stupid, but if you look at a map, he keeps putting dots everywhere. It's basically what it is it's in a confined area of like a square. And like what he's also showing to me too is, and I don't know if this is where you're from, but because I obviously never been to where you were from, like we spoke before. It's like greenery, right? It's kind of like if there's like open land and greenery. So you have like a suburban, I guess, type of area, but then you can go like pretty close and there's a green, there's a lot of wildlife and green.
Forestry and mountain areas.
Exactly. There's wildlife and like it's not so it's not metropolitan in any type of way. You can easily go there. Because what he's saying to me is that there's the best way I can explain it is I guess you could say mountains, but he's showing to me kind of like not caves, but like man-made caves near where they're from. So there's mountains in the background, but if you going up to it, there's man-made like caves, rocks, and it's not a lake. So when I say a lake, it's not a lake. It's a small body of water, like a stream or whatever. He keeps saying that it's kind of like when someone has good outdoor skills and they can like navigate the outdoors very well. They know how to go from point A to point B. Like they're just good at that. Like there's some people that are not, I'm not like that. And there's some people that can just instantly do that. He's saying that was also on his side of, it's kind of like a not well-traveled terrain in a not well-traveled area that he was able to go to. And like, that's why he's saying that he was very well-versed in like, when I say mountain life and stuff like that, like he knows how to go from point A to point B and to get there smooth and to get there back. He also knows that no one is ever going to go in those areas. So you have the two things kind of mixed together. And that's what he's showing to me because he just keeps saying like, if you're trying to locate DNA in bodies, like that's where you go. Because he's saying, you know, the general location because he's literally putting a map in front of me and putting all these dots, but it's in one confined area. It's not like scattered throughout. It's kind of, they're fairly close to one another.
Can you ask him if it was sort of around the central North Island region and where we were when we were little kids?
Yeah, because he's saying to me that the spots where it was, you've been. Like you've stepped foot around that general area of what he's saying. This isn't like foreign to you. Because he's also saying like where you guys went and wasn't a well, like if you were going there to camp, wasn't like a lot of campsites, it wasn't a lot of people. It was a very specific location. That's the thing he keeps saying. It's you have to know where to go. You can't really stumble upon it if you're trying to camp in any way. It's kind of like that.
Yeah. I totally understand that. One particular event when I was older, when I was about 16, he was skiting to me about picking a woman up from a bus stop when the buses were on strike and giving her a ride somewhere. And it's been coming back to me the last couple of years of this woman, and I don't understand why, but it just always, like, that conversation with him was important.
Yeah, well, there's like the like mixture of like, obviously the perception, like you said, it's like perception's important, but also it's like preying on vulnerable people, if that makes sense. It's like people that need a ride, need this, and then like that's what he's saying. He's saying his key thing was essentially like preying on the people that needed him, I guess, or like it's not necessarily like wanting him, it's like needing him for something. And he's like coming in for the quote unquote, I guess rescue is the best way I can kind of put it, but it's not really a rescue. It's just like you're driving someone somewhere, like, but like that's kind of how it was. And he's saying like that's kind of like his whole MO with this stuff was all of that, was kind of just like him coming in for the rescue and like all of that. So,
and then turning on them.
Well, yeah. Like his whole thing to get them was to be like the quote unquote hero coming in for the rescue and then snapping your finger. And then you're kind of like, what the heck just happened? Like, obviously, because he's saying that like, which is interesting, is a lot of people he came in contact with went missing.
When we grew up, there was a lot of abuse of us as children, very severe abuse. But we had like he would take foster children and things, and they would be there and then suddenly they'd be gone. And there would be, you know, single mothers from the church and that would be very friendly with our family, and then suddenly they'd disappear and never speak again. And there was always lots of things. But when I was about 6, there was someone that went missing. And even as a 6-year-old, I have no concept of murder or anything, but
of course,
I found myself trying to find dates in the newspaper because he used to build garages and he would, you know, drive and go away for a few days. And I was trying to find dates to match them to this because in my 6-year-old head, I believed that he took this woman.
Yes, I think that he definitely was a part of taking her or doing that. But I also think like what he mentioned earlier was about the children aspect of things. Yeah. Like that's also a very big key part to me about this whole investigation. If you like, I really encourage you to pursue it. But that's a key part of it because he kept bringing children up. Aside from the missing woman, there's children and just things like, so he keeps saying that to clear his conscience essentially to some extent, but to also to give you closure, like that's the next step to do is to go and then obviously look for the children, look for like things like that.
Yeah. Well, I would want him to guide us on some names and some places because he needs to give closure to these families, you know.
Yeah.
That's part of his growth. And the last, like I haven't had anything to do with him for many, many years. My sisters finally went to the law about the abuse of us as children. And our family, the wider family, basically discarded us or ostracized my siblings and I because of doing that. You know, he would never have done that and blah, blah, blah. And so we've been ostracized from the family. But the last couple of years, I've been just getting a lot of strong stuff of that I have to follow this up and DNA.
Yeah.
And I've felt that it was like, you know, maybe he's healing up there or wanting to, you know, tidy up the books and help other people, you know, from what he's done.
Yeah.
You know, when it's yourself, like you can hear things for other people, but when it's for yourself, you know that your own imagination can get caught in there. And so that's been my whole conundrum is like, is this just my imagination or my head, or is this him actually wanting to make right some things?
It's more so making right, I would assume, if he's coming through like this, you know?
Yeah, that's what I think. So I'm really grateful.
Yeah,
to you.
Well, thank you. And thank you so much for coming on and trusting us to do this. Like, means a lot. Well, thank you.
Thank you so, so much. You're amazing. Thank you. I've waited for you all my life.
Oh, thank you. Angie, thank you for coming on. But guys, wow. To shake this off, it's going to be a little bit more involved. Like, I don't know how I'm going to, but I really have to shake this off. It's really heavy. And I just want to preface this to you guys also that I'm going to give her my personal email after, because the subject matters that we have spoken about and that I need to go into more detail, I cannot have on here. There's no way that I can have this intense subject on here. This needs to be passed directly to law enforcement. This needs to be handled off camera. So that is why you're not going to hear these very intense things. It just won't make sense to put on here. And it's not good. It's really intense. So please just bear with us. But guys, thank you so much as always. And if you guys have a case you want me to talk about or you're directly affected, please rate and review the show 5 stars and leave it in the comments, or just send me an email at connectjonathanmark@gmail.com. Guys, please do not forget to follow my Instagram, my TikTok, my Facebook page, and it's all Jonathan Mark Medium. All right, guys, I'll see you next week.